This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Friday of the 5th week of the year. Our Gospel reading is Mark chapter 7, verses 31 to 37. Jesus left the district of Tyre and went by way of Sidon to the Sea of Galilee into the district of the Decapolis. And people brought to him a deaf man who had a speech impediment and begged him to lay his hand on him. He took him off by himself away from the crowd. He put his finger into the man's ears and, spitting, touched his tongue. Then he looked up to heaven and groaned and said, "Ephphatha," that is, be opened. And immediately the man's ears were opened, his speech impediment was removed, and he spoke plainly. He ordered them not to tell anyone, but the more he ordered them not to, the more they proclaimed it. They were exceedingly astonished, and they said, "He has done all things well. He makes the deaf hear and the mute speak." A couple of things just by way of context here. So yesterday we heard how Jesus had heard the prayer request of a woman, a Greek woman, whose daughter was afflicted by a demon, and her faith was so intense in a simple and direct way that Jesus will accept her prayer request and the daughter will be cured. That was to the northwest of the Sea of Galilee. This region of the Decapolis, Jesus is now traveling back to the Sea of Galilee, and the Decapolis region is to the east and south of the Sea of Galilee. So Jesus is doing a little traveling here. Crowds are hearing about him, people are following him, and he's curing the sick, driving out demons. So as the word gets out, Jesus is passing through this region of the Decapolis, and people bring to him this guy. He's deaf, and he speaks with an impediment. So he has struggles because he can't hear in what he's going to say. All right. Jesus, now we hear, says the words, "Ephphatha," be opened. The man is cured. He can now hear and speak clearly. His ears are opened, his tongue is loosed. And I want you to think about that contrast. To be able to hear and to speak. Those two elements. This guy gets an opportunity, and can you imagine for the rest of his life how he's going to tell people about his encounter with Jesus that brings him the gift of two senses, his hearing and speaking now in a whole new way. He can hear music. He can hear voices. He can hear the words of his loved ones. He can interact with the community directly. And not only can he hear them, but he can respond clearly, succinctly, directly. No more impediment. His speech, plain and direct. Friends, what's true for this man then is a prayer for all of us. That we're cured of our own deafness. When we are deaf to the cry of the poor, deaf to the needs of others, deaf to opportunities for charity, mercy, forgiveness. There are times when there's all sorts of need going on around us and our ears are plugged and we can't hear the very cry that we might be able to respond to. So we pray that, like this man, God will cure us of our deafness, that we can hear clearly. And not just mean the cry of the poor or the needs, but also hear the beauty of life, the music of life, the goodness of life. To hear words like, "I love you," or "I forgive you." To hear words that say, "You're important to me." To be able to hear that kind of uplifting message. To be able to hear the notes of a song. When we can hear, not only can we be aware of needs in our life, but we're informed of the goodness and beauty and truth of life. But then the other side to this, the speech impediment is removed, and now he can speak, he can sing. And I want you to think about the power of our words to build up others, lift up another person. That when we speak, it really is a powerful tool, right? With a single word, we can lift someone up or cut them down. With a single word, we can make someone's day or have them just all stirred up for a week. Speech becomes a tool by which we have the power to shape and direct people's lives. With our speech, we can organize our thoughts. With our speech, we can offer messages of hope, offer insight that is spiritually fruitful. With our speech, we can even make music and sing, raising the hearts and minds of others. Friends, I pray then that our spiritual deafness and our spiritual speech is touched by Jesus today. That the Lord will help us sharpen our hearing about whatever messages, whatever insights we need to take to heart today, that we're aware of them. And then that we are given the healing of our spiritual speech. That the words that come out of our mouth, they're worthy of heaven. That whatever we need to say or communicate, it builds people up, draws them together, fosters unity, fosters charity. When we do that, then the healing touch of Christ empowers us to grow, offering our lives by what we hear and by what we speak. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew, and I hope this podcast inspires your faith. Now, if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend. And you can help me by leaving a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask for your prayers in return. God bless you, my friends.